We have recently, just now, tied a Tuna Tuxedo with yak hair. Now we're going to do a Tuna Tux with Steve Farrar's Blend and a Senyo chromatic brush. So let's get started. Okay, this is what this beauty is going to look like. Got a little brush. It's got a little big fish body down here, and it's got white and black. Great fly. Here we go. Great. What's it great for? It's great for skipjack. It's great for whatever. What are you going fishing for?
Dorado.
Dorado.
Roosters.
Roosters. So I'm not going to go very far back on the shank. This fly is going to be tied right to the quite forward. Now, when I tied this with yak hair, I tied the entire fly up above the hook shank. With this one, this is Senyo's chromatic brush, and this happens to be, the color is live bait. I'm starting to get, I've got a bit of a tangle here on my bench. I've got yak hair and ice wing and angel hair and a little bit of Loctite to glue it all together. And I just noticed when I wrapped around there that I got some of the fibers trapped. So let's see if I can't untrap them. So why would you do this at all? Well, some people just like to have some material on the underside of the hook. They really do. So this honors that artistic tendency, but you'll notice that I'm kind of stroking, I'm shaping this material to the upper side of the fly. So there we go. Now I've got some Steve Farrar's Blend. This happens to be bucktail white. Guy and I were just discussing the aspect of how full do you make these flies? You put a lot of material in them, put a little bit of material in them. And we were kind of saying that here's some black. This is actually bleeding black. It's got a little bit of flash in it, but not too much. We're actually saying that listen to me, I think I knew what I was talking about. The guides tell me they prefer these flies with less to them rather than more. So I could tie these in separately. I could tie them facing forward and then bend them back, but these aren't going anywhere. So I'm going to tie them just like this. So how do I know this material isn't going to pull out? Well, I did fish these last year, tied this way, and I'm using Loctite. And I'm also using a nice UV cure on the head here. And the combination of the two makes this fly quite sturdy. I want to make sure this is going to look right. Looks pretty good. So I suppose after I've caught, 50 or 60 tuna on this fly, 50 or 60, Don't really know how many fish this would stand up to. But it is an option to tie the winging material facing forward and then bend it back, and that is definitely more durable. So we've got our fly here. Add our eyes. I want to push this back a little bit. Not too much. Go just right. Now I'm going to try a little bit of thin in here. Get things started. I used all thick on the first fly, and my only concern was that it seemed to take a long time. I think it's cold here in the garage. I think that's part of it. Just seemed to take a while for me to just get it out of the tube. So this fin is actually, doesn't seem to be too thin, and it is certainly a little bit. What I want to get some right around a nice little bead around the eye. I'm going to keep that in motion. I want to have a little bit around the back side of the eye to support this winging material. I want to be very confident when I throw this out there and start stripping it that my wing hasn't fouled around the hook. And this pretty much assures me I'm in good shape. There we go. We have a tuna tux. I'm just feeling to make sure I have adequate coverage here, and I do. I have a Steve Farrar's Tuna Tux to complement the fly we tied recently, which is a yak hair Tuna Tux. Here we have it. Tie a few up, get out there, have fun.